Hello, everyone. My name is Malik Caser. I'm in SAP space for around 8 years and so, and my core module is sales and distribution and integration with other modules. Um, I'm when I have experience for both grow with SAP S/4HANA Public Cloud and rise with SAP S/4HANA Private Cloud. Today, I'm gonna explain the one of the SAP product grow with SAP Public Cloud. So I'm just going to explain you the brief of the public cloud, and so that you can understand what is the grow with SAP S/4HANA public cloud. So you have, at the end of this discussion, you have a knowledge of what is public cloud. So let's quickly jump into to know what is SAP public cloud. All right. So grow with SAP S/4HANA is basically a SaaS cloud ERP delivered with the built-in industry best practices and supported by a business technology platform known as BTP for extensions and integrations. Grow with SAP S/4HANA Cloud basically helps new customers to adopt the cloud solution faster and reduces the time to value and serve businesses with faster and better. It basically reduces the total cost of ownership due to shift from capital expenditures to operating expenditure. Companies will have a better transparency of cost and usage, and they can avoid investing and maintaining on large infrastructures. It is basically ideal for those customers who want to do greenfield implementations and they have a desire to leave customized legacy ERP behind, innovate with the cloud mindset, looking to transform with the modern cloud ERP, and traditional firms wanting to simplify and shed IT costs using out-of-the-box best practices. Before we move on, I would like to explain to you the differentiating Grow and the RISE enablement packages. Organizations across different industries have unique needs with some common requirements. All customers expect a high degree of security, must comply with the local and government regulations. That's why a one-size-fits-all solution is simply not feasible. And SAP has taken a different approach by assembling a modular cloud portfolio of many different solutions that can be plugged into a single source of truth. Now, customers can deploy specific modules or processes in phases over time to build a cloud ERP that truly adapts and evolves with their organizations. That's why there are two distinct products SAP provide that can be deployed as the cloud ERP solutions. For customers who require a high degree of customization in these processes or their processes, prefer to innovate at their own pace and require more control over their solutions, RISE with SAP S/4HANA Private Cloud is the best, or we call it fit to gap EP to transform their business digital transformation. And on the other hand, for small and mid-sized customers looking for a solution that they can quickly adapt and they can transform their business, public cloud with Grow is the enablement packages for that kind of organization. So that's a differentiator between a Grow and the RISE enablement SAP product. Now, moving on to the cloud, mindset shift is very important. Basically, it is not possible to apply the old mindset that may have worked for managing an implementation on on-premise solution to the cloud. Implementation teams must inculcate cloud mindset as a part of implementation. We need to move away from the traditional fit to gap, like as is or to be on the on-premise mindset, to the fit to standard cloud mindset, which is what serve as a best practices, adopt as is. The solution should be configured with an agile and cloud mindset. That's where experienced consultant play a pivotal role. Experienced consultants should conduct cloud mindset assessments and determine follow-up action to assess companies' present situations and readiness for a cloud shift or solution. Customers might already have some degree of cloud mindset, but that is not sufficient to move to cloud. We have to shift the existing degree of mindset to the required degree of mindset. As everything is on cloud, this shift is very much needed. So cloud mindset is pretty much important when we go with the public cloud solutioning. Moving on, what are the differentiating cloud deployment models available? I mean, there are many questions from customers on how to choose correct deployment options, how to differentiate between a private cloud and on-premise software, or what are the software licensing, perpetual or a subscription, right? The public cloud deployment is a great solution for a customer looking to start fresh in a clean system who is open to process redesign, whereas the private cloud deployment is an ideal solution for a customer who needs to retain the investments they have already made in their SAP ERP system, but wants to move to the cloud. Uh, a differentiator between a private cloud and public cloud is the level of customization allowed in the system. Private cloud tends to offer more flexibility than public cloud because the software lives in a single tenant server rather than a multi-tenant server. Think of public cloud as an apartment complex where you share some resources with your neighbors. And think of private cloud as a single family home on a plot of land. In an apartment, you can make customization within the constraints of your unit, but you cannot make major structural changes that could affect the other tenants. With a home, you can build an addition or change the exterior because you are the only tenant in this space. So that's the differentiating. You have to explain your customers when you go or your customer asks for the deployment options models. And one of the key factor that explains this differentiator is the DDA, the digital discovery assessment, is used in the sales cycle to assess a customer's requirements and match them with the best SAP practices to fit their needs. So what are the important points to be considered when customers are planning their SAP S/4HANA public cloud journey? The customers have many questions in their mind, like how will SAP public cloud save money? How will this new deployment option make user job easier? How will it be cost effective in the long run? And so on, so forth. Right. While determining the answer to these questions, I personally feel in many ways these questions are interrelated. And any product that makes user job easier surely saves money. In order to address these questions, the first activity we should use is executing a SAP DDA assessment, a digital discovery assessment. It helps to capture the customer's scope and identify relevant business requirements like integration and additional requirements specific to the customer's journey to SAP Cloud. The second important point is providing clarity to customer on topics like localization availability, data residency, availability of PRD system and non-PRD system, non-production system, security, and integration requirements to ensure solutions fit to customer. Then we need to identify present landscape and business process to know the flow of the data and information among various parts of the organization. Right. Apart from these, we also explain the customers the flexible extensibility solutions like user in-app extensibility, side-by-side extensibility, or developer in-app and extensibility. But one thing we should keep in mind, that is the cloud mindset. And consultant should explain the cloud mindset when explaining the deployment options, the cloud deployment options to the customer. Once project starts, implementation partner will guide customer to ensure success. For doing a successful implementation, all parties, customer, implementation partner, and SAP should come together because success can only be achieved if everyone is doing well on their part. When I talk about the DDA, Digital Discovery Assessment, the integral part of this DDA is the defined scope in SAP S/4HANA Public Cloud, right? So when you defining or explain the customer, you solution to the customer, you basically define the scope items during the initiate change functionality. It would be ideal to follow SAP recommendations, that is limiting the number of country regions to no more than 5. I would say to just select the country where your customer reside. I mean, if your customer is in USA, just select the country USA, right? After completing a country region selections, the system displays available business scenario. Because you choose the USA, so system will SAP will show you the local best practices or localized solution for that region only. Then we can add the scenarios that are needed for our customers as a part of the predefined scope, meaning there are some scope items available that's come in a bundle. Like, for example, in any organization, there are some departments like marketing, procurement, finance, costing, HR. So in DDA, we have these scope bundles. Under each scope, we have a scenarios which explain the business requirement. So, for example, enterprise management or sales. Let's say sales is easy one. Let's say sales. Under sales, you have process like debit memo, credit memo, standard sales, consignment sales, return orders, and so on and so forth. You can choose the bundle title to view a list of all scenario it contains. Some scenarios appear locked. These license dependent or non-standard scenarios must be requested by opening case with SAP. And this is the component to open a case with SAP. One thing you have to remember when you explaining or defining scope to the customer, if we add many countries in scope during scope and organization structure phase, confirmed scoping milestone cannot be completed and keeps in progress for a very long time. So we should avoid this thing. Now, another important point to be remember in public cloud, and that basically this standard workshops, fit to standard workshop, basically a part of your Activate methodology. So once your customer is on board or before you're on board, you can explain these best practices or fit, we call it as fit to standard workshops to the customer. The objective of conducting fit to standard workshop is to show and tell scope items and standard process flow, gather responses to the business-driven configuration questionnaire, and prepare starter system before realize phase. Basically, this part is once your customer is on board and you in like an on-premise, you do the fit to gap, but over here you do as Activate methodology part, you do the workshops. You show them what is there in SAP best practices, and you explain the entire process, and the customers comes up, okay, our solution is matched with this, but we need to do some little changes with that process. So we need to note down all those changes. And in the purpose of this workshop is basics to fit the requirements into the solutions. That's why the core user or business customer line of business experts are in the best position to identify changes or whatever need to require build the solutions. So they will sit together in these workshops and you identify whatever need to be adapted according to this solution. All right. So one of the important component in SAP Public Cloud is SAP CBC, call it SAP Central Business Configuration. It is basic a cloud service which is integrated with SAP S/4HANA Cloud, Public Cloud, and supporting the scope, organization setup, and configuration while adopting the SAP Public Cloud solution. Right. Apart from this, SAP Public Cloud comes up with two options of in terms of landscapes: 3 system landscapes and 2 system landscapes. 3 system landscapes consist of a development system, test system, and production system, while 2 system landscape consists of a quality system and production system. For the matter of fact, for this presentation, I'm not explaining this much what the CBC and the landscape, because that's all come in the commercial part when you choose when the customer choose its deployment option. And there's a cost associated with 3 system landscape and 2 system landscape. We need, as a audience, I'm just explaining is to you guys what is these 3 system landscapes and 2 system landscape. So these are the tenant available in 3 system landscapes and 2 system landscapes. All right. Earlier, I explained you the mindset shift for the public cloud, and some of the solutions you can during DDA you can explain to the customer that can be achieved via extensibility. And there are 3 types of extensibility available in public clouds: key user in-app extensibility, side-by-side extensibility, and developer in-app extensibility. Key user in-app extensibility, where you don't require coding skills, it may be required a low-code, no-code thing. And think of example, as an example I will give you, like you have to add a custom field in your standard app, like sale order app, like procurement or purchase, or while creating PO, you need a custom field, something. So you can achieve this by key user in-app extensibility. Then we have a side-by-side extensibility, which are loosely coupled, or we call them as an independent to your system. And then we have a developer in-app extensibility, which are tightly coupled, and these are developed within the SAP S/4HANA Cloud Stack. So these are the 3 solutions, and based on the customer requirement, you can explain them which extensibility you're going to use in your business processes. All right. As part of the one of the important factor we could say is the methodology we opt for the cloud ERP. Either with the RISE or with the public cloud, SAP recommend the SAP Activate methodology is the go-to methodology to implement cloud solution. Because you do your work in sprints, and Activate methodology is the proven methodology provided by SAP for a successful implementation of SAP project. There are some tools available provided by SAP, like roadmaps, which helps and guides the implementation team through the project in alignment with the SAP best practices. These are basically home to best practices description, templates, and release notes. You can access content, resources, and tools to enable your success with these resources and knowledge. Experienced public cloud architects can effectively lead a transformation project by creating value to the organization. And another thing is, it is ideal on the part of implementation partner to prove their consultancy knowledge, or to prove their consultants' knowledge level through public cloud certification. Certification may not be 100% guarantee for quality or hands-on experience on the subject, but certification plays a big role, especially in cloud. It indicates a base level of knowledge plus the level of qualification of a consultant and their employer. And also, sometimes customer may also request valid up-to-date proof of each consultant knowledge level through certification, and validate that every consultant working on their implementation project staying on the current and latest release. So as a part of the implementation project, the Activate methodology is the go-to methodology. Earlier, I explained you the workshop, this fit to standard workshop, that's also part of the Activate methodology. So Activate methodology, we have a prepare phase, explore phase, realization phase, and we have a run, deploy, and run. So these are the some phases of Activate methodology, and each phase has its own sprint for the successful implementation. So some of these sprints, I just pick out the important mapping testing on the public cloud projects, uh, so that for the audience to understand why Activate methodology is important, or go to methodology for successful implementation. So after prepare, explore phase, some of the important mapping testing we need to done by consultants and users for the implementation of SAP project. Configuration related testing, or sometimes called unit testing, done by a consultant in realized phase. I give you an example. Let's say a sale process, an end-to-end sale process needs to test. So this sale process is tightly integrated with the materials management module and financial modules. So a consultant ensure that each and every aspect of the process is tested, and the process is fully configured. So that's done in the configuration related testing. Once these configuration test is completed, this phase is completed, realization is we go to the customers, and the customer do the user acceptance testing. They test the in the quality system, these test these configurations and with the master data, and they see the process is completely mapped as per their business requirement. Once it's done, so that the user accept our testing. So that's why it is called user acceptance testing. To make sure everything is accurate, reliable with the data and the configuration, we have to perform the regression testing. During run phase, customer experts use these automated testing tools to test business processes after software and content upgrades are applied to the test system. Okay, so this is to make sure that everything is smooth and as per the business requirement. There's some important announcement I would like to add on this. Initially, the solution manager is the mainstream maintenance, and but with the SAP announcement, but it's keep changing. But as of now, it's the SAP solution manager is valid till 2027. SAP Cloud ALM is the go-to application live ALM platform for all SAP customers. SAP recommends to complete the transition to SAP Cloud ALM before this date for all the customers. So basically, this and for this, with this solution, Cloud ALM, application lifecycle management, you have everything. Your Activate methodology, all sprints will you can be visible in that platform. All right. So far, I have explained you the SAP Public Cloud product, this usage, where to use the public cloud and ways to use the private cloud, the mindset, and the Activate methodology. And that's again a commercial part. What the licensing, what type of licensing we use in public cloud or private cloud. So SAP termed this licensing as SAP FUE, which as full usage equivalents, is a unit to measure utilized by SAP to grant licensing for its SAP S/4HANA cloud application. Roles and responsibility of each are different, and in one FUE we have the 5 licenses. So there are 3 type of FUE: core user, service, self-service use, and advanced use. The roles and responsibilities are different. Like some of them have a limited access, some of them are analytical access, and some of them have full grant access. So I've explained and written over there for all those FUE responsibilities. And in the last, I would just like to explain the important factors for the cloud project successful implementation. So I just write down some. These are not the, I mean, these are some. There could be many, but these are the important factors to be considered. So the first is the implementation partner maintains responsibility for deploying correct resources for SAP S/4HANA public cloud projects. Good to have a certification at least for key project roles, but experienced consultant is a must for the successful implementation. Second, essential to understand the business and IT objectives for the customer cloud adoption. Customer and implementation team must adhere to SAP Activate methodology and should align with the best practices. Fourth one is implementation team to ensure that scope and project expectations carry forward from sales to delivery. All the quality gates should be planned perfectly. The implementation team and customer hold responsibility to validate the data they upload or they provide. So that's the key to implement. Like if your data is not clean, you have a problem later in the later stage. Like you face a numerous transition data comes up with the lots of error. So data cleansing is very important, and that's one of the key aspects for the successful implementation. And team structure. Ideally, on-site is the preferable because you have a one-to-one meeting and you have your confidence is improved and your relationship with the customer is improved. So on-site is important, but mixture is also um, implementation partner adopt. So it's a team structure, preferably the on-site, but its mix can also work. So this is just a small introduction to public cloud. I know it's not a complete one, but as per the time limitation, I just try to wrap up the important aspects of public cloud, like the introduction of public cloud, the mindset, the important terminologies used in public cloud, how is it different from private to public, and where we have to choose public over private cloud, and the methodology, Activate methodology. I hope you get something out of it. It's because it's a huge product, and and to grasp the complete knowledge requires some time. In the upcoming sessions, I will explain the resources and the other part of the public cloud, like which I didn't cover here. So see you next time. Thank you.